Hello and welcome to Our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 248.
We spent the morning in our 2-bedroom villa here at Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House, hoping to see some animals. Unfortunately, we did not get to see any today, which was really sad. But we're hanging out here because I have 3 siblings flying in today, so I wanted to make sure I saw them before we headed to the park to meet Robert's sister and brother-in-law. So we waited in the room until their magical express bus arrived, and of course it was a lot of fun to see everyone, say hello. But they will not be joining us at the park today. They are actually going to Universal. I know this is a Disney account.
We don't talk about that.
So we're not going to talk about that. I'm just telling you where they went. We did not join them. We did not go to the dark side. After we said our goodbyes, we hopped on a bus over to Epcot to go meet Robert's sister and brother-in-law and our adorable niece. We're going to do some snacking in Epcot. We love snacking, and because they have the dining plan, all their snacks do apply to the snacks here for the Food and Wine Festival, and they are happy to share with us because if you bring friends and family with you, then you can try more snacks because you're not as full. So it's a really great way to try lots and lots of snacks throughout the festival. So that's exactly what we did. But when we first got in the park, we had to stop because the JAMMitors were there, and we love the JAMMitors, and we cannot leave without seeing them for a little bit.
As soon as the JAMMitors were finished, we headed on into World Showcase to start our snacking around the world. I'm so glad they have the dining plan because you always have way too many snack credits, and at least this is a good use of them. So we started off in China where my sister wanted to get the mango bubble tea there, and we all kind of tried it and really weren't that impressed. It wasn't bad, but it was just kind of a basic bubble tea, nothing special about it. We rounded the corner and stopped in the Africa booth for the Kenyan Coffee Barbecue Beef Tenderloin, and this was an amazing dish. I was very happy with this one. Tons of flavor, and of course it's a barbecue, which I'm always a fan of. And we kept going on to Italy, which generally has a pretty solid booth. Not usually anything bad at their booth, but not always anything spectacular, so we were curious to see how this went. They had a ravioli that was really, really good, but even better were the oven roasted pork ribs. I was really loving these. They could have used some barbecue sauce just because I love barbecue ribs, but honestly, they didn't need it. They had a ton of flavor.
But my favorite thing from this booth was the chocolate hazelnut cake, which they put on a stick, so it's basically, you know, a glorified cake pop. But it was really, really good. I loved this. This was definitely something we all could have had more than one of. But again, we're sharing so we can try lots and lots of things. We stopped in America to listen to the Voices of Liberty because they are just incredible. If you've never heard them, this is something you must stop in America and do because these are extremely talented people with amazing voices, and we just love listening to them. And it's inside, so it's air conditioned, so that's a plus as well. So we went in here to listen to them for a bit.
After the Voices of Liberty were done, we headed inside to watch the American Adventure show because, again, air conditioning this time of year in Florida is really, really nice. As we headed out from the show, we were working our way around, and it's just really, really hot outside. The sun is really bright today, and we're a little bit afraid of too much exposure to the sun for my little niece. So we decided to try and make a run for the DVC Lounge to take a break in the air conditioning and just relax for a few minutes out of the sun. And on the way there, we made one final stop at a booth for Belgium. This one had a beer braised beef, which was good, but didn't have as much flavor as we thought it might. Looking at it, it looked like it was going to have a ton of flavor, and then was just kind of like, oh, it's a basic pot roast, right? But they made up for it with the other items they had at this booth, and that was Belgian waffles. So we had a regular waffle with chocolate sauce on top, as well as one covered in berries and some whipped cream on both of those. And these were really good. I especially love the berry one. There was a ton of flavor in the mixture they had on top.
We finished those and headed over to the DVC Lounge. We did ride Figment first because there really wasn't a line. There's really never a line for Figment, honestly. And then we headed up to the DVC Lounge, and there was almost no one in here. Very empty, just like the park has been for most of the day, which is really strange, especially for this time of year. We expected more people to be in the park, but there just hasn't been anyone in the park, which we really appreciate because we haven't really had to wait in lines. We've been able to do everything we want to do, and we've been able to take the day pretty slow with our niece, and we want to make sure she's enjoying her time as well, and we're not exhausting her. So it's just really nice to sit here in the air conditioning, play with our niece, have her make faces, and just enjoy this really pretty time of day, because with the sun high in the air, you kind of get those really cool sun rays in the video that I made. It's been really nice that it hasn't been overly busy, and we've just been able to enjoy the day.
While we were there in the lounge, we were discussing our plans for dinner. We did book a last-minute reservation for California Grill because my sister and brother-in-law had a bunch of extra dining credits they weren't planning on using, so they thought, well, let's go to a signature restaurant where it costs 2 credits per meal, and we'll go to dinner there. And California Grill happened to have an opening, which is a great place to eat dinner, especially if you get it around fireworks time like we did. But they are a signature restaurant, so you need to dress up a little bit. They do have a dress code. So we were going to go back to Animal Kingdom Lodge Jambo House and change clothes. My sister was okay to go to dinner, but my brother-in-law needed a button-down shirt, so I just told him, hey, I'll bring you one of mine. That way you guys don't have to go all the way back to your resort and all that. You can stay here in Epcot. You can use Rider Swap if you want to ride any of the bigger rides, and you can ride things like the Seas with Nemo and Friends while we're getting changed back at our hotel, and then we'll come back and meet you to head over to Contemporary. When we got back to the resort, the animals that we couldn't find in the morning were actually out on the savannah now, which was great, except we didn't have much time to stay out here and enjoy them. So we did sit out here for just a minute and watch them before we hurried back to the bus, back over to Epcot where we met up with them, and then we got on the monorail over to the TTC to then take the monorail over to the Contemporary so that we could go up to dinner.
We made our way over to our table, and we ended up with a table by the window, which of course is really cool anyway because you get to see like really pretty views, and we were able to see the castle. But the best part of this was we are here around sunset, and we got to watch the most gorgeous sunset while we're sitting there looking at the menu. Every time we looked out the window, it was like, oh my goodness, it changed again. Look at that. It's more orange, or it's more clouds. It was so cool. So Robert decided to do a time lapse showing this amazing sunset because it was just beautiful.
We've been here before, so we know that for an appetizer, we definitely want to get the goat cheese ravioli. It is one of our favorite things on the menu, and they're on the dining plan, so they're not getting appetizers, but we couldn't pass this up. We had to get one. And then we all ordered our entrees. I actually got something special that wasn't on the menu. It was a limited time thing. It was a bison loin, and you know me and bison, I've got to try that. And it came with a baked Gouda mac and cheese, which sounded amazing. And oh my goodness, this dish was incredible. The bison was cooked perfectly, phenomenal flavor, and that Gouda mac and cheese was amazing.
I ordered the scallops and lobster tail, which is exactly what I wanted. This was so good, and the presentation was beautiful. Lots of pretty colors on the plate. It just looked amazing.
My brother-in-law got the filet, and he was really happy with it. I had to try a small piece because we did just have that great food over at Gico. And this filet was really good too. I don't think it was quite as good as Gico, but it was really close. And then my sister got the mole chicken, which came with some avocado and vegetables. She liked this, but I think she actually preferred her husband's steak over her chicken, even though the chicken was pretty good.
After we finished our entrees, we placed our order for desserts, but we asked them not to bring it until the fireworks were over because the fireworks are going to go off in just a few minutes, so we don't want our dessert sitting there while we're outside. So we made our way over to the bridge outside so we could watch the fireworks. We got a really good spot out there. And the view here at California Grill to watch the fireworks is so unique and so amazing because you're off to the side, so you really get to see where the fireworks are coming from, which is awesome. And they do pump in the music, so you do get the whole experience. The only thing you don't see really are their projections, but as long as you've seen Happily Ever After before, then that's okay, because you still get to enjoy the music and the fireworks and really get to have an amazing experience. After the fireworks were over, we went back to our table, and now it's time for dessert, our favorite time of the meal. And I got the Verona chocolate cake. This was served warm with a little bit of ice cream. It was so good and a great ender to an amazing meal already.
My sister also got the chocolate cake, so her husband and I decided to try something different. He got the lavender donuts that came with a little bit of frozen yogurt, and this was a really pretty dish. It wasn't my favorite. I think I actually liked the chocolate cake better, but it wasn't bad. It was just not exactly what I was in the mood for. I actually got the creme brulee, which was incredible. I love the presentation of this, and the flavors were great, especially combined with the strawberries and the coconut crunch and stuff that came with it. So now we've had 2 signature meals in 2 days, and both of them were amazing, even though they were very different types of food. After dinner was over, we headed back downstairs and then walked over to Magic Kingdom because we had to get back to our resorts, and the easiest way to get back from Contemporary to a different resort is to just head over to Magic Kingdom and catch a bus from there. So we did that, headed back to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.